Hello, Scream Demons, and welcome to the Screams from the Basement podcast with Sam and Casey.
This is the horror podcast in which two horror fans get together and we discuss all things horror, including news, recent watches, horror collectibles, sometimes horror awards, ceremonies, and more.
And more. I am one of your co-hosts. I'm Casey Kelderman.
I'm Sam, and let's get screaming.
Let's get screaming as we are talking about the 2024 Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. We are live right now on Facebook and YouTube. Literally, we're less than 15 minutes from when the award show has ended, and we are going live with our live reactions, our live thoughts, our overall impression of this year's 2024 Fangoria Chainsaw Awards.
Yeah, so we did this last 2 years, a year and a half ago, whenever the last Chainsaw Awards
during the last Chainsaw Awards, yeah.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was great. We're, as we said on that live stream that we did, the chainsaws are like an annual tradition in our house. We love the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. This is our Oscars, you know. These are when the movies that we love get all the love and attention and accolades. And it's all fan voted, which makes that even kind of cooler. Yeah,
for a lot of people, their biggest thing to look forward to in terms of movie awards is obviously the Oscars. That's the big one everyone talks about, and really that's a celebration of film overall. But for us horror nerds who live, breathe, absolutely spend so much of their lives just dedicated to this genre, nothing gets better than the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, and something we look forward to every single year. It's just a celebration of the entire genre as a whole for an hour and a half. And what a weekend to do this on. We're recording this on Sunday, as I said, as the awards have just ended. Also, the number one movie at the box office this weekend is an independent horror film. Terrifier 3, which is number one at the box office. It's knocked out a different clown-related movie, a sequel to an Oscar-winning movie, Joker 2, by a long ways in its first weekend out for Terrifier 3. So big shout out to the team there. And I don't know, this feels like the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards are a nice just kind of end cap to this big celebration of horror this week.
Absolutely. We'll probably get more into Terrifier 3's box office on our next episode, because we're both going to be talking about Terrifier 3 at some point. And I just have a lot of thoughts about how successful that movie's being, and what a great year in general it is to be a horror fan. And I think these awards just really signify that in a nutshell.
Yeah, absolutely. So people, if you're out there listening, if you're watching us right now, please use that comment section and just comment along with us. What were your thoughts on the 2024 Fangoria Chainsaw Awards? What were the biggest winners for you? What was the most shocking winners for you? And we're just going to go kind of award by award. But Sam, overall impressions on the entire show beginning to end.
I think this show gets more and more consistent and concise every year.
Yes.
They tighten the screws in a way that all the big awards ceremonies just do not seem to be able to manage.
Yeah,
like it just, where everyone else goes like bigger and grander, like the Chainsaw Awards find a way to like make it better every year, but they don't necessarily make it bigger. Like they know what the award show is and they go for it, and it's seamless. And it's a good time. The focus is on the artistry and the movies and the craft, and that to me is what an award show should be. I love the chainsaws. I think that an hour and a half is a perfect time frame for your award ceremony. It does not need to be longer than that. And this one just breezed by, as it always does. And I had a good time. How about you?
Yeah, I had an absolute blast. I think I had the exact same feelings as you do, where it just feels like every year these just get better and better. We get these familiar faces continue to show up, including our host for the evening, David Desmalchin and
Yeah.
Angel from
Yeah.
Fangoria as well, hosting this year, and those two just have great chemistry together. I had
Shout
not
out to Angel for starting on the pre-show and moving into co-hosting this year. Like, she killed it. It was great.
yes, yeah, absolutely fantastic job by both of them, and I love the mystery of this, like who stole the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. It was so much fun, and I just love the overall set. Like that's one thing we also need to shout out to the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards is every year they really like up the ante in terms of the set, not only for the award presentation, which they kind of use that similar backdrop with like the podium and
Yep.
you have basically the two speakers there, but also with our hosts that are like inside this like run down old school television station as they're popping in VHS tapes to receive the next awards. And yeah,
Yep.
it's the perfect vibe that I want out of the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. But Sam, let's jump into this then.
Yeah.
We have our full list of winners in each category here, and there was some surprises as well. We got some surprise categories we didn't know were
Yeah.
even going to happen this year. So let's just jump right into the first award of the evening, which was Alyssa Sutherland won for Best Supporting Performance in Evil Dead Rise. We both made our predictions beforehand. I was going pretty strong in the beginning, teetered out in the middle, and I came back strong at the end. But I did pretty good at the beginning, and this was one of
I
my picks right at the beginning.
I filled out my ballot with my heart and personal taste, and because of that, I got 4 categories right out of this entire evening. Um,
Yeah,
but
I
and
went. I went with like what I thought the majority was going to pick, and some of these did
yeah,
cross over, obviously, with my picks as well. And this is definitely one of them. Evil Dead Rise was a big winner in a
yeah.
lot of categories tonight. A big fan favorite right here.
Yeah. In general, I don't like when movies sweep awards. Like when I vote awards, I like to spread the wealth
Yeah,
and not vote for like, if I've voted for a movie twice already in 2 different categories, I'll try and find other ones to like nominate or vote later on. But when I did feel like Evil Dead Rise had a bit of a sweep this evening, but I couldn't be happier that it went to a movie like Evil Dead Rise that's just so like gleefully everything you want in a horror movie. Like it was one of the best theater experiences I've had in the last couple of years, and so yeah, absolutely stoked. Alyssa Sutherland is amazing in this movie, and
incredible.
yeah, her deadite mom in this is just terrifying. So
Yep,
love that,
yep.
love that.
Love this one. Next award, Best First Feature Film. A movie you and I saw together in the theater. We sat right next to each other about, I don't know, second or third row in during this
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, Best First Feature was Skinamarink was the winner. Absolutely loved the acceptance speech afterwards. I thought it was
Yes.
incredible, thanking so many people because of the worldwide phenomenon that Skinamarink really became. And this again was my pick that was going to win just because of that worldwide phenomenon that happened.
Oh, yeah, I mean, this had a ton of buzz around it, like, one of the biggest runaway successes of the last couple of years, we're talking about Terrifier 3 earlier, but this one was Skinamarink was just as successful, and it was made, in someone's parents' house
Yeah.
for, 15 grand, and it just became this, like you said, a worldwide phenomenon, and it's cool to see horror do that. All
Yep.
like I'm always going to be rooting for a horror movie to succeed, and it's amazing when it does. So, yeah.
Yeah, big props to Skinamarink. Best nonfiction series or miniseries. This kind of seems to be the Joe Bob Briggs Award until
As
the last drive-in is no more, which I hope just never happens. But yeah, the
yeah.
last drive-in with Joe Bob Briggs, best nonfiction series or miniseries.
Yep. This is to me like the equivalent of Pixar at the Oscars. You just kind of know it's going to happen, and
Yep.
that's where it is. Yeah.
Well deserved, well deserved.
Well deserved. Yes.
Shout out to Svengoolie for getting a nomination this year. I was very, very
Yeah.
excited for that. Huge Svengoolie fan here.
Yep.
Best documentary feature. So this, admittedly, was probably my biggest blind spot in terms of the categories this year. I had not seen anything nominated, and now I need to remedy that by watching all 5 of the nominees, including The Legacy of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which won Best Documentary Feature.
Yeah, this is another one that I this was a pretty big blind spot for me too. The only one I watched was Sharksploitation, which by the way is great. Like
Yeah.
I would highly recommend Sharksploitation. Definitely gonna check some of these other ones out too, because obviously they're nominated for chainsaws. They're very good.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely. Legacy of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Congrats.
Congrats. Hey, back to Evil Dead Rise. Best creature effects for Evil Dead Rise. I mean, that
I
image
changed my
alone,
pick like
like, come on. That's one of my favorite horror images of the last few years.
I changed my pick about a half an hour before the awards started from this to this is best makeup effects to Abigail, which not a smart move on my part, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, Evil Dead Rise, best creature effects. Yeah, the what do they call that at
Is
the
it like
end?
the Abomination or something
The
like that?
Abomination or
Right?
something. Yeah, something like that.
Can't remember.
Oh, so good. So fun.
Yeah, it's incredible. Love it. One of the best creatures of the entire Evil Dead series, I would say.
Yeah, yeah.
And then best makeup effects following that, right back up with Evil Dead Rise. What did you have in this category? Because I had In a Violent Nature, which I think maybe was a sleeper hit that maybe a lot of people hadn't seen yet
Oh, yeah.
until
Okay.
it arrived on Shudder about a month ago.
I was okay, so I was looking at the wrong one. That's the one that I switched to Abigail. I was a little shocked though that In a Violent Nature did not win best makeup effects. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just because of the hook kill, which we'll
that.
obviously
Hey,
talk
we'll
about.
talk about it later.
Yeah,
I
we'll
don't
talk
think
about
that.
it later. For best creature effects, I actually had Five Nights at Freddy's, which is a movie I didn't love, but I thought the creature design was amazing in those. So
Yeah, truly incredible.
yeah, just I mean, all these categories are so stacked that it's
Yeah.
like there's yeah.
Next up, we have Best Costume Design. This was also I think this is the only Oscar. No. We have another Oscar movie that was also a winner this year in the Fangoria Awards. But
Yeah.
Poor Things was also an Oscar contender this past year and has won here for Best Costume Design. I have not watched this movie yet. I want to because I've heard great things. I heard it's a weirdo Frankenstein take, and I think that's cool.
Yeah. I I'll just say this one was not for me, but I can't disagree with either of the 2 awards that won tonight. Um, I mean, the costumes are amazing. The whole costume design section, like nomination list on this though,
Stacked.
was just so stacked that I'm like any one of these could have won, and it would have been a great choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, like I would have loved to see some 80s kitsch Lisa
That was
Frankenstein.
my pick too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then speaking of Poor Things, best cinematography goes to Robbie Ryan for Poor Things. Again,
Yeah.
movie looks incredible. I don't have much to say yet. I need to again remedy this by watching Poor Things. Best score though, very excited about this one.
Yeah.
Godzilla -1 wins for best score. I love this score, and as soon as I heard it again when they played it during the award ceremony, I was like, this has to win. This has to
Yep.
win. It's one of the best scores in any movie in recent memory. It just feels like there's an actual theme. There's like not a hero theme, I guess, for this Godzilla, but like a
Yeah.
monster theme for any time Godzilla appears, and it's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I with Godzilla, it's just anytime I see a clip from -1, I get full body chills. And it doesn't even
Hmm.
matter what clip. It can just be like a dialogue scene. And it's just like, how is this movie that good?
It's
Loved seeing it win best score.
it's the best Godzilla movie ever.
Yeah, it's right up there with the 54 one. It's right up there.
I said what I said. All right, here comes our first big surprise of the night during the Fangoria Chainsaw Award. Last year they had Best Amityville Movie, and that was already a category that everybody still got to vote on beforehand. maybe 2024 just did not have enough Amityville movies. What were we doing, indie horror filmmakers? Why are we not making more Amityville movies so you can get nominated for the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards? I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on. But instead, in its place, I think this year, and one that I hope they continue, because, like she said during the awards, she has 40 movies in production right now. So, I mean, there's no shortage of Felissa Rose movies to pick from for best Felissa Rose movie going forward. The winner was Craving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't I'm gonna
I
level
haven't
and say
watched
I haven't
any
watched
of these.
any of
There's
these.
too many. There might be too many for us. That's
Might
a
be. Yeah. I mean, we also have been in a Brink Stevens binge for the last like we went through
yeah.
that for the like 2 months. So you know,
Hey, next year, Sam,
next year maybe we'll do a Felissa
a big
binge.
Felissa Rose binge. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was fun.
It
Felissa's a
was
blast. And
yeah, so
hey,
much fun.
we can just say it right now. We figured out in the broadcast who stole the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards.
Yeah.
It was none other than the Mangled Dick expert from The Last Drive-In, Felissa Rose.
Yeah. uh good end credit stinger.
Yep, she's amazing.
Yep.
Love her. Hope they continue with this award because that's
It's so funny.
so
Yeah.
funny. Yeah. Best series. This was a big surprise for me. I think it might have been for you as well. I think we both had Chucky in this spot.
Yeah, I see. I thought this was going to either Chucky or Fall of the House of Usher,
Yeah.
mostly because I didn't
So
watch this.
so the winner is The Last of Us that
Yeah,
won.
yeah, The Last of Us won. I've not seen The Last of Us.
I
Um,
watched the first episode and I was just not I don't know if I'm just not really a fan of like apocalypse end of the world type television shows, and
yeah,
this is one of those. I've heard it's great and I heard it gets really good as the series goes on, but it just was not for me. But yeah, I kind of forgot the phenomenon that this was, but really
yeah,
shocked that Chucky did not get it here.
yeah. It would have been nice to have Chucky's now final season on Sci-Fi. Get
But
a
was it for Chucky season 2?
no, it would have been season 3.
Was it
'Cause
season 3?
season
When did
3
that end?
started season 3 started in October of last year, and then it picked back up in April of this year.
Oh, okay.
So, it was all of season 3 that was eligible, but it could have also been season no, because season 2 was 2 years ago. Yeah. Yeah. So, it was season 3, and it would have been nice to have that little, like, accolade as a one final middle finger to Sci-Fi and that whole television division, but,
Hey,
whatever.
maybe they'll have a new award just for Chucky next year. Maybe
Yeah,
Chucky
there
can
we go.
host. Maybe Chucky can host.
Chucky can host, yeah.
Chucky can host.
Um, yeah, the Editorial Eye on the Future Awards. I love that they gave 2 of them. That was pretty
Yes.
cool. The first one went to, Dwayne Perkins, the, writer and one of the stars of The Blackening, the co-writer, I should say. Um, I mean, people who have listened to this podcast know I love The Blackening. It was in my top 10 last year. I adore that movie. Um, and it made me very happy to see Dwayne up there and just gushing about horror and promising that he's gonna come back. Uh, when he does, I'll be there right away.
Mhm.
And
Sam, I gotta say, with your lighting, you're kind of the opposite of The Blackening right now. Like your
yeah,
face
it's
looks like
really
Casper.
I'm really washed out. I don't know
You
what's
are
going on.
extremely washed. I just noticed that.
It's
That's
like
better. Yeah.
it's really bad. It's so bright. I don't
There,
know how to turn it down.
there you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Maybe that. Maybe
There.
that.
Now you're
Yeah.
normal. Yeah. You
Now
don't
I'm
look like
normal.
a
Okay.
you don't look like a ghost floating into the screen here. And then the other editorial eye on the future goes to Vision Video, Dusty Gannon.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember his TikTok name. Is it Goth Dad or Goth Daddy? Something
I
like that. Kayla
I
knew
think
who he
so.
was.
Yeah.
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 She's like, oh, I know who that is, and I've listened to his music. So I had not heard of him. So I feel like
Yeah.
every year there's always someone new that I get exposed to from these awards as well.
Exactly. I mean, a few years ago, I didn't know who Twin Temple was until
Yeah,
they were on the chainsaws, and yeah, that's what I kind of love about this award, or well, this award being an eye on the future. Um, I kind of liked that didn't immediately recognize, like, I'd kind of heard in the periphery about Vision Video, but like I didn't really know who this was, and now I have a new person to look up and discover.
they apparently were in Sioux Falls at some point this past year.
What?
That's what Kayla said.
Well, that's crazy. We
That's
should have gone.
crazy. We didn't even know about them.
No.
Now we do for next time.
Hell yeah.
All right. And then we get to kind of the late night with the devil phase of the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards.
Yes.
Definitely another big winner on the evening. Best screenplay. I was a little surprised that Late Night with the Devil snuck away with this one, but big fan base behind this. And of course, David Desmalchian, that we will talk about a little later. But best screenplay goes to Colin and Cameron. How do you pronounce their last name? Carnes?
Cairns, I think.
Cairns?
Cairns.
Yes.
Cairns, yeah, I
That sounds
think.
right. Yeah, Late Night with the Devil. Best screenplay.
Yeah. I mean, you and I have talked about our personal, like, taste on the movie, but well deserved. It's
Yeah, absolutely.
like one of I believe that like the way I described it was I was frustrated because I loved so much of it, and there were just other parts that didn't work, but the stuff that works in this movie for me is just incredible, and I love it. So,
There's
yeah.
one thing that really works in this, and we'll talk about him later.
Yes, we will.
But best international movie. Big props to When Evil Lurks. Big
Yep.
fans over here, both of us on this movie. What
Hell yeah.
this just what a gut wrenching movie, and mad props to everyone involved with When Evil Lurks. Big win.
Was very happy to see this one win. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I probably will be going on my third watch because just watching clips from it, I'm like, yeah, I got to watch this again already.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Gigi Salguera for
yes,
a crazy introduction for best international
yes.
movie. We need to get her on the show. She seems like a blast.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Best limited release movie. I saw the TV Glow. I have not seen the TV Glow yet. You have, Sam. So best limited release. I saw the TV Glow.
It's no secret. If you follow me on Letterboxd, you know that this is like my favorite movie of this year. And I really don't know if anything's gonna top it. This movie just it's incredible. That's all I'll say about it. Like, people go seek it out. It's on Max now. It's widely available. It's one of the weirdest movies that I've ever seen. It's so unique and so emotionally involving, more so than anything else I've seen. And it stung a little when no one was able to accept the prime rib. But it's okay. Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
I will definitely be watching this very, very soon. So be on the lookout on our podcast for my thoughts, I guess, because I will watch. It's been hovering on my watch list for the last couple weeks. So best streaming premiere movie, VHS 1985 takes the cake with this one. Yeah, big props to the entire team. VHS 1985. Got all of them on a Zoom call together to accept the award, which was super cool.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this one. Keep pumping out those VHS movies every October because I will watch them every single October.
Hell yeah.
Might be my sleeper hit for favorite modern horror franchise, VHS.
Yep. It's a good one.
Speaking of good ones, best kill. This was the write-in award for the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards that fans got to write in their choice. Best kill, and if I had seen this before I put my ballot in, this would be my pick as well. But best kill. What did you put for this before we say the winner? Did we have the same one?
I think I wrote in
Stephanie from Evil Dead Rise.
Okay. I don't think wait, no. Maybe I did write in Stephanie. I either wrote in Stephanie or I wrote in the backup cam kill from Suitable
Yes.
Flesh.
Suitable
I
Flesh.
I know it was one of those two because it was either Stephanie or it was backup. It was the backup cam. Because those are the two things that stood out to me. Had I watched In a Violent Nature before before voting in the chainsaws,
Yeah,
this
so
probably would have been my vote.
that was the winner for best kill in a violent nature, the yoga scene on the kind of the
The
mountaintop,
cliffside.
the cliffside.
Yeah.
What a scene. They showed it again in the
They showed the
broadcast,
whole
and
thing.
oh my
That
god,
was great.
what an incredible scene. And then the this is my favorite acceptance of the night,
Yep.
where they're
Best
out in,
moment of the night for me.
yeah, when they're out in the woods and the actress returns to
To
accept
accept the
accept
award.
the award. Yeah, it's
She's got a
incredible.
neck
Loved it.
brace on,
And neck brace and has like
like
bandages around her
bandage.
stomach. Yeah.
She's all healed up mostly.
Yeah. Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Love this movie. Love this kill. Big props to In a Violent Nature.
Yep.
And there he is, the man of the hour, the host of the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, and
He
the winner
looks
of.
a lot like Dr. Fearless too, weirdly.
He does. I heard they don't like each other though.
Yeah, they're pretty
Dr. Fearless
animostic towards each other.
does make an appearance on this, helping his arch enemy David
Yeah.
on this
Some
broadcast, but I don't
some
know if that's
Hannibal
gonna
Lecter
last.
energy there.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna last.
No.
Yeah, I could see Dr. Fearless teaming up with Felissa Rose. Like that's
Oh, yeah.
I don't trust him. I don't trust him.
Yeah, yeah, those 2 are
But
scheming.
but who I do trust is David Desmalchian, who won Best Lead Performance in Late Night with the Devil. Mad props to David. We're big fans of his work and everything he does for the genre of horror. We're big fans of his work in this movie, his work
Mhm.
behind the scenes, writing the comic book Count Crowley. I will give a shout out to that
Yep.
anytime I can because
Hell
I
yeah.
love that comic book so much. And shout out to him for trying to keep Dr. Fearless at least somewhat at bay with his
Yeah.
crazy shenanigans. Only one person can slow that mad monster down, and it's David.
We have a comment that popped up earlier regarding this category.
Yes, I'm gonna pull it up
Um,
here.
yeah. I love David Desmalchin. This is from Liz Marie. I love David Desmalchin, but I feel like Tobin Bell's performance in Saw X deserved the award for best lead performance. Just my opinion. I'm kind of with her on this. Like, this is
He was another one of
like,
my possible winners for this.
yep. I like Tobin Bell. He's not going to win an Oscar for playing Jigsaw. But
He should.
after Saw
Should.
X, he really should. Like, Saw X is, I mean, go back and listen to our top 10s of the year. We both had Saw X on it. I'm pretty sure I put Saw X at number 2 on my year-end
Yeah,
list.
it's the
Uh,
best Saw movie ever.
yeah, it's so good. It's incredible. And a big part of that is Tobin Bell
Yep.
and Shawnee Smith. But yeah, Tobin Bell would have been an excellent best lead, but I also think Des Malchin just knocked it out of the park with Late Night with the Devil. And it was cool to get to see him accept a chainsaw. Like, it was really neat.
Yep. All right, next award. I think we're nearing the end here. We have 2 more left to go. Next up, though, Best Director, Lee Cronin won for Evil Dead Rise. Again, big night for Evil Dead Rise. Mad props to Lee Cronin, who
Yeah.
kind of had, again, the insurmountable task of taking on an Evil Dead movie, this time without Bruce and Sam, and
Yeah.
without it being a remake of their movie, just kind of a whole brand new original take on Evil Dead that we had not seen before, and he knocked it out of the park with Evil Dead Rise, one of my favorite movies of last year. Absolutely love this movie, and
Yeah.
mad props to Lee Cronin.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said earlier, I don't always like sweeps, but when a movie's as good as Evil Dead Rise, it's like, well,
Didn't sweep in every category it was in, but it
no,
did very 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 well this year.
did very well, yeah.
Yeah,
And Lee Cronin deserves it. He made probably the best popcorn flick like popcorn horror flick of last year.
yeah.
I loved it.
And last but certainly not least, best wide release movie goes to Academy Award winning Godzilla -1, but more
Yeah.
importantly, Fangoria Chainsaw Award winning Godzilla -1.
Yep.
Both of us, I think we both had this at number 1 last year in our. Maybe you didn't. I don't know if you
No,
did.
my
No, you
number
had
one was
Suitable
Suitable
Flesh.
Flesh. I
Yeah,
think this was my number 3.
yeah. So my number one, my number one movie of
I my
2023, Godzilla -1. Yeah,
my top 10 list is always a snapshot in time.
yeah,
They change so frequently, but, yeah, I'd say that Saw X, Godzilla -1, and Suitable Flesh are an accurate depiction of my movie taste from last year.
yeah. One A, one B, one C. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, well deserved. Godzilla -1, just one of the best movies.
Mhm.
I mean, one of the best movies of all time, in my opinion. This movie's so good; it's incredible.
Yep.
Obviously, deserves all the accolades, including Best Wide Release Movie at the 2024 Fangoria Chainsaw Awards.
Took home the big one.
Hey, Godzilla is the big one. He is the big
He
one,
is
and
the
he
big one.
and he took home the big one.
Love it.
Sam, do you have any final thoughts on the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards from 2024?
It's just these awards always just put me in a great mood. They put a smile on my face. Um, I love seeing the same people kind of pop in and out and the fresh faces that we get each year. Um, it always makes me happy when the chainsaws come up and we have like people who are maybe not necessarily like known as horror people popping up and giving their time and their effort to the chainsaws. And I don't know, it's cool to see that horror reaches more than just the horror people, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
But
Yeah.
also the horror people. Gotta give a big shout out to them. I loved that so many of the award winners this year had Fangorias just sitting on
Yes.
shelves behind them. So
Yeah,
it just shows
absolutely.
the importance of Fangoria still, not only to people growing up with horror movies, especially in the 80s, 90s, but still today as still that leading voice in horror, and having
Yeah.
something like this where they team up with Shudder to present the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. And what a great marriage between those two proponents for the genre. And we hope this continues for your many years to come. We will be
Heck
tuning in
yeah.
every single time.
Yep, for sure.
All right. Well, speaking of Fangoria, we're going to give it a shameless little plug here. I'm going to pull it up.
Yeah.
If you are not subscribed to Fangoria, you can use our affiliate link. We have it right there on the YouTube. You can get 20% off your subscription, merch, back issues, anything like that. Just follow our affiliate link, which is shop.fangoria.com/screams from the basement. That's our show name, Screams from the Basement. Shop.fangoria.com/screams from the basement. Get 20% off and use promo code Screams from the Basement to get that discount code as well. So shout out to Fangoria on that. We do appreciate it, and we appreciate them for putting on this award show, which is the 2024 Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. All right, Sam, we're gonna wrap this up because it's almost 10:30 here as we're doing this. But
Tired.
if people would like to listen to our show in the future, you can find us on Apple, Spotify, and we are on YouTube as well. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, Sam, where can they follow us on social media?
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We're on all of those. And if you're a new person to the world, by Twitter, I guess I mean X.
Well, yeah, no one calls it that.
No one calls it that.
Nobody
If you
calls
call it X, don't.
Don't. We just had that logo because that's what it'll show up on your app store, but it's still called
Yeah.
Twitter does. But again, thank you all for tuning in. Sam, please give us that sign off.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And sweet screams.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal: providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.